Is Optima Tax Relief a scam? So, as the owner of a tax relief company and as a competitor of Optima Tax Relief, I want to be really, really careful how I answer this because the word scam is pretty much the worst insult, the worst thing you can call a business, in my opinion, right? You think about the four-letter words that you could level against an individual to insult them. There's kind of a hierarchy there. Well, in my opinion, the four-letter word scam is the worst thing you can call a business. So I really want to be careful here about how I answer this question, especially when it pertains to a competitor. Because when we say something's a scam or a business is a scam, we're not merely saying that they're incompetent. Actually, they may be quite competent, but what we're saying is that they have an intent to deceive and defraud and just take money from you. So before I talk about my opinion and my answer to the question of whether or not Optima Tax Relief is a scam, I'd like to invite you to leave comments in the description below my video if you have any experience or opinions on this with Optima Tax Relief or someone you know has experience with this company. I will read those comments and respond to them. But right now, I just want to talk about my answer, just kind of from the heart here. I did jot down some notes on my opinion on whether or not Optima Tax Relief is a scam. So I thought long and hard about how to answer this question. And here's what I'm going to say about this, because I get asked it a lot. Although it appears, at least based on some online review sites where people, purportedly who are customers of Optima leave their opinions about the company, and these could very well be fabricated. Okay, I don't know. But it appears that some of Optima Tax Relief's customers are not pleased with the service they received from Optima. And I'll show some examples here from Yelp. Okay, so I just typed Yelp Optima Tax Relief. Here we go. Right, so you can see there's a lot of folks here who are saying, okay, well, I mean, here's a good one. I mean, so this one's a 5-star. Again, I don't know if any of these are fake or they're real, right? I have no idea. This guy says he chose Optima thinking they were bigger, right, than the local guys. Surely they'd be able to. Anyway, I'm not going to really get into too much of the details here, but there's a lot of folks on Yelp and other review sites that are basically complaining about Optima and saying they're just not doing what they said they would do, right? Now, as the owner of a tax relief company, I think I have some insight into what might be going on here. But but in my opinion, Optima Tax Relief is not technically a scam. Okay. And again, I'm saying this as a competitor of Optima Tax Relief. If anyone would want to put down a competitor like Optima, it would probably be me, because I own my own tax relief company, Choice Tax Relief. We do all the same things that Optima does, but in my biased opinion, a bit better than they do. But I'm not going to crap all over a competitor and call it a scam. Okay. A scam is a company that does all this advertising, right, and takes your money with the intent to defraud you and not help you out at all. But unlike that, I do believe that most folks of Optima Tax Relief do have the intention to help their clients with their tax debt. However, right, so I can hold that opinion. I also believe, and again, this is just my opinion based on some conversation with people who have hired us after they went with Optima, or maybe not hired us, but at least talked to us and let us know they also talked to Optima, as well as things I read online, like on Yelp and other sites, that at Optima, as well as at some other big tax relief companies, what you're going to find is, sometimes folks will call in and they're oversold, perhaps, or maybe they're subjected to very high pressure sales tactics to get them to sign on the dotted line. Maybe thinking that Optima would do something for them that Optima ultimately couldn't do. Okay, not saying the salesperson lied, but I'm saying that just based on these reviews, some of these reviews I've seen on Yelp, it seems that somehow, and it could just be the prospect, the lead, putting pieces together in their head and putting things together, not necessarily something directly the salesperson said, but somehow getting the impression that Optima is going to do, they're going to pay Optima to do X, but then Optima was not able to achieve X. Okay. Put in tax relief terms, maybe they thought they would qualify for a settlement. I'm not saying the salesperson said that, but maybe they kind of pieced that together in their mind. They paid Optima thinking they would get a settlement and offering compromise on their debt. Optima comes back and says, no, that's not possible. We can only do this for you, right? Which is maybe an installment agreement that if they don't owe a lot of money they could have done themselves, right? But they still paid Optima that large fee when they were of the mind that perhaps Optima could reach a settlement for them. Right, so, that happens. The client's angry at Optima because Optima charged them some insane amount of money, but wasn't really able to do something for them that they weren't able to do themselves. So, I think that's one thing, the kind of the sales process at Optima and maybe other big tax relief companies. Some I've heard are quite good and quite straightforward, but others I've heard are quite high pressure. And of course, this can vary based on salesperson to salesperson. Right. But then again, most companies who have a sales force, they have something of a script that their salespeople go through or run through. So I would imagine there might be some consistency at one company among all salespeople. Another complaint I've read about Optima is that people feel that they're just getting pushed around from person to person. Their case isn't being worked on. Now, I don't have firsthand experience with Optima, so I don't know if this is true. But knowing, as the owner of a tax relief company, knowing the complexity that goes into some cases and how much back and forth there is with clients, I could see how something like this, right, cases falling through the cracks, could happen at a big tax relief company like Optima, right, that does a great job of marketing on television, radio, everywhere else, that, has salespeople who are able to get prospects to sign on the dotted line and fork over, thousands of dollars. So I can see where there's this high volume of cases coming in, probably some, and they're, combined with maybe not having enough staff on the production side, or not having enough well-trained staff, or just a lot of turnover on the production side because maybe they don't pay their people enough. I could see how cases could fall through the cracks, right? Given the complexity of a tax relief case, right? Because staff are just overwhelmed with work. So the question is, if these things are true, right, even if there are, very high pressure sales tactics that might be framed in a certain way to get people to do certain things and pay a lot of money for something, even though there's no guarantee. And that's important. There is no guarantee of any success when you pay a tax relief company, when you pay an attorney. There's never a guarantee, right, of a certain outcome, right? So buyer beware, right, just with anything. But, even if there are these high pressure sales tactics, and even if, sometimes on the back office, the production side, when the case is being worked, things fall through the cracks. Even if those things are true, does that necessarily make a company a scam? Optima Tax Relief a scam? In my opinion, no. It might lead one to conclude that maybe they're not the best tax relief company to go with, right? It could lead one to conclude that. But in my opinion, aggressive sales tactics, unless they're outright lying. Right? Unless they're outright lying. And I have not heard an Optima Tax Relief, sales pitch, right? I've not heard one personally. But if they're outright lying, yes, it's a scam. I doubt they're outright lying though, right? They might be just saying things, very persuasive things to get the client to sign, okay? Assuming that's the case, and even if there are some things that fall through the cracks on the back end in terms of case management, that's going to happen at every large company, right? From your cell phone company to your water company to your electric company, things are going to fall, I'm just thinking of big companies, things are probably going to fall through the cracks, right? Your delivery is late from, Amazon or UPS or wherever. At big companies, things fall through the cracks. It doesn't necessarily mean they're a scam, right? Now, the dollar amount that's paid to Optima Tax Relief, you see some of these amounts in these reviews. I paid, $3,600, 14,000, or sorry, you're not seeing me right now. 14,000, 8,000, right? They're paying, 4,000, right? Just the high dollar figures that are paid to Optima, would lead me to conclude that, wow, if someone is paying you that much money, you got to manage that case well. Right. And I think, that's why people use this word scam a lot. Right. Because if UPS or Amazon delivers your thing a day late or something, you're probably it's not thousands of dollars thing. You're probably not going to go out and write reviews and call it a scam. But that being said, it's my belief that Optima does try to help people with their tax problems. And so in that sense, it's not a scam. They're just not their intention is not to deceive. whether or not they accomplish that goal of helping people with their tax problems for all of their clients, I can't speak to that. But so they may not be the best service provider, at least if reviews like this are true. But I still wouldn't be so bold as to call them a scam, because that is just such a strong term. And a company can be incompetent. I'm not necessarily saying Optima is incompetent. These reviews could all be fake for all I know. But a company can be incompetent, or at least not provide top level client service to every single one of their clients, and still not be a scam. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, who the heck am I? I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Logan Alec. I own Choice Tax Relief, as you can see on my hat. We help people with their IRS and state tax troubles. Most folks call in, they have income tax troubles. We also help business owners with payroll tax issues, unfiled tax returns, business returns, payroll returns, sales tax, income tax. So if you'd like to talk to us, free consultation, you can reach out to us at 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. There's also links in the description of the video for our website, for a link to a calendar that you can book some time to speak with one of my consultants. So, yeah, folks. And of course, please leave any comments in the description below about Optima Tax Relief. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, folks. I hope to see you all soon in the next video. Bye-bye.